This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors. Greetings, Masters, and get ready for a Wu review just for you. And without further ado, Wu-Zetian ain't nothing to F with. 4-star assassin with 8,981 attack as well as 10,942 hit points. When it comes to stats, she is, well, average. 2 quick, 1 arts, 2 buster deck is not too uncommon for assassins. 3 hits across the board on the quick arts and buster. Star absorb is 102, and this is about as high as you're going to get for assassins. Star gen of 25.2 is also on the upper side of that range. On a buster quick, you will be netting around 12 to 21 stars, with the third card quick netting you 6 to 7 stars just on its own. NP charge of 0.87% on attack and 4% on the defense means that when she is hitting an arts quick chain, you're looking at around 30% NP gauge, 5% on her third card arts if you lead off with an arts card friend. Traits of note here is that she comes with a king trait. So let's hop into these skills. Torture Technique A. So this reduces one enemy's defense for 3 turns by 10 to 20%. And this is basically charisma, but against one enemy, and defense down has a cap, and this is pretty meh skill. So unlike charisma, this is a pretty mediocre skill. Also, unlike charisma, this one can be resisted. It's not too bad if you're going up against a single target boss. It's not the worst, but overall it's not better than a similar charisma. Her second skill, Imperial Privilege B, is great, however. Raise attack and defense by up to 38%, as well as heal yourself for 2,800. Awesome. Too bad the attack and defense have a 60% chance to actually land, which is kind of gross. You can increase this though with other characters like Ozzy, but yeah, it's probably not going to land. It's much like XCOM. 99% means you have a 0% chance for this to land. Thankfully, the heal will always land, however, and at rank 10, it is on a 5-turn cooldown, so that means that you can try again pretty quickly after you miss both of those attacks and that defense. So her third skill, remember me talking about that charisma? Well, they gave her one of those too, so at least you have that. Charisma of the Empress A increases not only the party's attack, but quick for 3 turns by up to 20%. So this is actually really nice. I'm a big fan of charisma with other things duct taped onto them just to add that extra little flavor. And this does pretty well. Quick support is actually really quite rare at the moment, so this is worth a bit more than your average attack buster up. That is until Scotty drops. Wu's Noble Phantasm Manual of Accusation is a single target quick NP that inflicts a 1,000 damage poison that's going to linger around for 3 turns. Additionally, on overcharge, she will increase her own crit damage by 50 to 100% depending on that overcharge. Now, this is a decent Noble Phantasm. Couple it with a defense down from skill 1 and the charisma and quick buff from skill 3, you have some really good damage. Now, if Imperial Privilege does hit for some reason, you're going to be doing even more damage. Now in the future, this will get a buff bringing the damage up by 400% across the board and removing all enemies' buffs. However, it's not prior to dropping that damage, it's actually afterwards. This takes an already good NP though and makes it even better. It would be really nice if the buff removal triggered prior to the Noble Phantasm, but regardless, this is still good to remove any dangerous offensive buffs or get rid of any defensive buffs to follow up with massive crit damage. Her only passive skill, Presence Concealment D, which increases her star gen by 4%, is actually really weak. Yikes. 15 stingers, 24 chains, 8 tars, and 4 gallstones are your ascension materials. Skills, gonna be rough though. 36 chains, 30 stingers, 8 wine, and 60 spinal fluid per skill. And if you are going to use this servant, you are going to want to max out her skills to get the most out of her damage. I would suggest leveling the second skill followed by third skill and then following up on the first skill. Imperial Privilege is great even if it misses, as the heal will help keep her on the field, and if the buffs do hit, she is going to be doing some great damage. Her third skill is just amazing, and well, her first skill can be left for last as it brings the least to the table, as she is a hybrid Buster Quick deck using assassin. Using CEs that provide buffs to both are great. Wolves of Mibu is actually a really solid pick, as is Launch Order. Talk on the Hot Sands is actually really great on her as well, considering the crit buff from her Noble Phantasm is massive, but she doesn't have a good way to soak up all of those stars that were created and use them afterwards. Well, this not only solves that problem, but further increases her crit rate as well. Midsummer Moment that is coming up with this summer event is also a very fantastic CE for her as well. When it comes to teams, Wu actually works very well as your point servant, as she has powerful crit potential, so capitalizing on that is a great strategy. Running her with a Merlin or Hans to provide even more crit damage as well as stars is very beneficial. Ozzy to increase the buff chance of Imperial Privilege as well as increase NP gauge is another option. However, you will be fighting for stars over his Rider Star Absorb. Overall, Wu is in a really weird spot at the start due to seemingly wanting to be a semi-support but also having a large damage potential. There is a large focus on her Noble Phantasm, and building around that will prove to be a very solid strat. She starts off actually pretty solid at release, but after she gets buffed, she becomes really boss. I do think that she's absolutely worth your time and your quartz, but what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Will you be rolling for Wu? How do you feel that she stacks up against other 4-star assassins? I would like to take this time, however, to thank all the fantastic Patreons. You guys are fantastic. If you would like to join them, there is a link down in the description. Hit that up, sign up for any tier that you feel comfortable with. Patreons are the lifeblood and the backbone of this channel. They help me do things like the great GSSR, Super Shotguns, Shogun, Summer Sweepstakes Extravaganza that is also linked down there. So I would just want to give a huge shout out to them. They are fantastic as mentioned. But if you would like to support the channel, just hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and I will catch you later. Take it easy, Masters. Peace.